Hey guys, Brenttime once again for DayZ Survival Guide. This is the next episode of it, and today we're going to learn building types, and I'm going to tell you what you may get out of these buildings. Now, do keep in mind that this is alpha, and I do not know, future civilian weapons or future military weapons and all that such. So, we're going to start with this building right here. Now, this building you need to know. This is a hospital. And, at the hospital, you're going to get, obviously medical supplies. Now, I'm going to show you the best places for where loot spawns here. Right in front of this, soda machine. You walk along here, and I found that this room usually has some pretty good stuff as well. I just saw something. A saline bag there, which is good. Another episode we'll talk about what a saline bag does. And, you got to check those shelves. On top of those desks and all that such. I found very nice loot right in this little area here. Never really found too much right here, but maybe, one little kit. This room never really has much, but, I would definitely check it. But most of the time, that's usually got a little something. Most of the time when I'm at the hospital, the best stuff I always find is up here. And, like, right in this little area there's something, and then right in this little hallway there's always something real nice. Someone probably already picked something up that was nice, but that's usually where I find something real nice in the hospital. Now we move on to the next building, and this one, a lot of people call the school. I've always called it an office building. I honestly, I don't care what you call it, but this building usually has, clothes, general civilian stuff, food, in this little supply closet. I've found some ammo here before for a 9mm. I don't know how I did. I don't know if it's supposed to spawn here or not. But you have these rooms down here. They're not usually very great. There's actually a weapon spawn upstairs though. Currently, if you go right up in here, there's a weapon spawn on this shelf and on these floors here. That's kind of like highly likely. Surprisingly enough. And this building's pretty good. A lot of people actually hit schools or office buildings or whatever for a lot of loot, but this one's been, ransacked already, so no point in really going any further with it. These are really miscellaneous buildings, one of these garages or all that such. Not really too much you can find here, very miscellaneous things as well. Actually, there's a bipod here, which is kind of surprising to me that this is even here, but bipods really aren't all that great, and I wouldn't risk my life for a bipod or, risk checking one of these buildings for a bipod. These buildings right here generally don't have very much either. Most of the stuff is actually in this little hallway here. Like I said, there's blue jeans there. Not really much else. I mean, sometimes I've seen stuff on that shelf. But other than that, it's really these hallways in these type of buildings that have a lot of, generally maybe good stuff. These buildings are stupendous. I don't know why, but they spawn very good, civilian type loot. Like right there, there's a weapon flashlight. That's pretty awesome, I think. You're not gonna really find any weapons in one of these buildings, but these, the amount of floors and the amount of loot chance you actually have in one of these things is just great. And probably if we just keep checking this building, we'll probably find something pretty fantastic. But let's go further in the video anyway. Or, further along the video. And by the way, we're in Electro for this part just because Electro has most of the building types in it already. This building type kind of sucks, honestly. I really wouldn't risk checking it currently. Yeah, like there's a book and like shotgun shells for a thing, a gun that doesn't exist or whatever. But this is a grocery store, a supermarket, whatever you call it. This is very good. This is something you want to check. You want to make it your priority to check it for food, water, sometimes pretty good supplies. But generally, other than that, you don't really find anything very useful. This is what I call the cafe. People call it the corner building. People call it the bar. I call it the cafe, it's more proper than a bar. You can actually find stuff in that toilet most of the time. Upstairs is generally pretty good. I'd be careful in these buildings though, it's very close encounter kind of style. There's a lot of jeans here, but here's a new shirt for myself. But yeah, they're pretty close encountered type buildings. So now we need to move to the next building, which is one of these buildings. Generally not very good loot, just kind of, you know, go through building, honestly. But it does have an upstairs, and I have found a couple things that were useful to me at the time, but I would not suggest making or going out of your way to get in one of these buildings, just because it's not generally the best thing. Again, one of my miscellaneous category buildings. Churches have always been awful to me in the mod and in the game. I never find crap in churches. People have been very fortunate in churches before. I never am. But yeah, other than that, I mean, there's paper here. But don't expect very much loot to be in this video, considering I'm in Electro and it's been ransacked already. I mean, there's another dead body. I think yeah, and there's 2 on that street if you look down further. This is a fire station. No one calls it anything else. It is just a fire station. Fire stations are always great. Go out of your way to search these things. I don't care if the server's been ransacked. Usually these will have stuff. These shelves, those shelves, and locker, and then those boxes generally have, you know, maybe a pistol. Then you have these shelves here. You have that locker there, that's open locker, and then you have those right there. Generally, I never find anything on the top floor right here. Actually, there is something, surprisingly enough. That's a silencer, it looks like. No, that's a flashlight. Never mind, someone dropped that up there. Alright, so what you want to do at a fire station, though, is you always want to make sure, and there's a dead body out here, I think. You want to make sure you check the outside, because 9 out of 10 times, and a lot of people know this now, so it might not be true anymore. Oh, yep, someone already took it. There's a pistol up there. No idea why. I have no clue. The pistol spawn chance there is 100% or something. But it's extremely high. This person had a fire extinguisher on them. That's interesting. How do I just need to search them, because, well, we may need a fire extinguisher. Maybe not. So, that is a fire station, and you know, there's many ways to exit it. We're going to use ladders because, well yeah, I don't like exiting it any other way, because this is just safer. So let's move on to the next building type. These guard posts are actually generally bad. I would not even try to check these. They've always been horrible to me, but you may have a different encounter with them. These red buildings, or there's also green ones, there's a green one right next to it, have been pretty bad to me as well. There's only usually 1 or 2 rooms that you can check. The rooms that you will be able to check will be either that room there, or these 2 rooms here. That's how it is. It's how that building model works. Then we move to the next one, which is that wooden house. Nothing ever in there. As far as I know, for myself. These green and yellow buildings usually only have like 1 item, not usually very useful. That green type building is awesome. It's been very great to me. I found medical supplies in it. I found, you know, clothes in it. I found, you know, blood test kits and all that such in here. Usually there's something right there, like there is now. And then there's you know, 1 or 2 things in here, sometimes on that desk. And then if you go upstairs, there's sometimes stuff underneath there on those chairs. There's nothing really ever in this room right here, so I wouldn't really bother, but if you had time, check it. Nothing usually in this room here either. Those rooms generally just don't spawn anything currently. The next building type is actually a very good one. That red/blue building or whatever, this building has been, like, as far as civvy buildings go, the best. Just absolutely amazing. Something there on these tables. I've found stuff right there before. There's always something right there. There's no upstairs, so you can check it relatively fast. Something always, usually always in there. Something right there usually. Something underneath or on top of that table. You know, obviously there's a rotten orange there. I found stuff on these top of these beds, below the beds, on top of there. Obviously something's right there. This building, this type of building has always been one of my godsends in this game. And, you know, hopefully that'll be for you as well. This is one of the sheds Sheds actually are pretty awesome most of the time. You'll find, you know, like, oh, motorcycle helmets, of course, but we don't need a motorcycle helmet currently. We do need food and water, but we're not going to rush for them. We'll die anyway. This building usually doesn't have anything either. You can check it if you really want to, just like any of these other buildings, but that type of building usually doesn't have anything. This is just a repeat of what that kind of is. Generally nothing in there as well. I've found about 1 or 2 things in this type of building before, generally in the hallway that's right there. Hallways are always great in these, you know, any type of the buildings. Hallways are just awesome. This red and green building, usually not too much in here. It's kind of sucks because you have to go through 2 doors, so it's kind of a waste of time anyways, because in this game you're always trying to save as much time as you can running around and all that such. The next building we're going to go to is we're going to go to the sewing plant. Now, sewing plants are very odd, to say the least. You can't quite understand sewing plants because sometimes there's weapons, sometimes there's, you know, just random shit. I have no idea what the loot tables for sewing buildings are. Once the loot tables come out, I will post them on this video in a link in the description below. They're not currently out as of making this video, but hopefully one day they'll be out and we'll, you know, we'll understand what the hell this building has. But generally, you find stuff in these rooms down here. These sewing, in between the sewing stuff, you usually just find shit. I mean, there's shotgun ammo, but you usually just find shit. This is where I found weapons up here. I don't know why I found weapons here. I found a Mosin up there, which was rather interesting to me at the time because it was the second weapon I ever found in the game itself. Next, we're actually going to move to a warehouse building, which the warehouse buildings are the same as they were in the mod, to the exact points of the spawn locations. The loot in there is weird. You can't quite understand the loot without loot tables. I think someone will have to make their loot tables eventually, but I don't know what loot spawns in here at all. I mean, they're not really worth checking. They weren't really worth checking in the mod unless you're getting a car or something. So I would just skip away from those currently, just because they just don't seem like they're worth that much of a hoot. The next building we're actually going to go into is that 3-story building there. Always been a very nice building to me as well. Back in the mod, this is where I found all my card parts. Here I find a lot of my hatchets and you know, actually generally just hatchets. I mean, there's not really much else that I find in this building, to be perfectly honest. Here's a monkey wrench. We can use that as a weapon because, well, monkey wrench. It's actually pulled out because now we can actually hit something if we need to. I don't find any food in here usually. Here's a rope and there's a hammer. I don't suggest using a hammer. They suck. But again, that's later video with weapons and all that such, melee weapons and the differences between melee weapons. These buildings are little sheds. I call them sheds again. You know, you generally have a shelf right there or something. They usually maybe have a hatchet, high hatchet spawn actually, and this room usually has something here and on that shelf, and that's pretty much all that comes in that room. The next building we're going to go into is an actual office building. I believe in the mod it only had like a lobby, or not a lobby, a front door, and that was it. You know, you could look into it. It was nice to look into, but you couldn't actually go inside of it. But we're going to go right to it right now. That's another little metal shed. Nothing usually in there. Nothing usually in that wooden shed as of right now. But that's the actual office building there. We're going to hit it in a couple seconds. In the mod, stuff used to spawn right on top of there. Nothing spawns there anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and go right into this little building here. And so, this building has been awesome so far. Just absolutely awesome. You can just go right through here and find tons of stuff. Here's some wet boots that are you know, useful if you're actually going to tread through the swamp area or something. If you just want the wet boots, I don't know why. If you think it's a fashion style or something, you want to wear it the raincoat. Maybe it'll be affected by rain eventually. So maybe that's interesting. Here's a hatchet. That's actually is interesting to me because I haven't found a hatchet in here before. I think I found ammo. I found medical supplies. This building generally doesn't have too much into it or in it. Well, that guy's dead, I think. I don't know what he's doing. That's hey. Yeah, I'm just gonna walk away from him. He's doing weird stuff. He's actually having blood rituals in there. He's using blood magic and all that such. If you play Dragon Age 3, or not 3, but Dragon Age in general, you know what I'm talking about, blood magic. So anyways, that's it for this part of the episode. Next we move on to military type stuff and all that such. My mistake, there's actually a little bit more. You've got these cars, so you can check inside this door here. You can also check in the back of the seats and in the trunk. Usually you don't find very much, as well as this taxi. Honestly, the biggest thing I found in any of these vehicles has been a map. I repeat myself, a map. This is a hotel. This can be found north of Cherno, and in Cherno. Not really relatively good gear. More, you know, like civilian type stuff. Sometimes you can find some food. You know, stuff that's not gonna really help you out. Again, another car. This one's a van. You can walk inside in the back and just sit there, you know, whatever. Now this is a apartment building that you can go in. Actually, the gear in here isn't really like a good spawn ratio. I don't recommend coming in here for anything at all. Just skip these types of buildings altogether. There is another type of apartment building that's in Cherno that I forgot to do. That one actually has a little bit. Those apartments are north of the industrial piping. And there's only like 6. They're right by a hospital there. So yeah. Now to the military. Alright, so the building you're seeing now is an air control tower. They're found on airfields only. Air control towers spawn military type loot, but they do have the possibility of spawning lesser items such as fire axes and all that such. You're going to find mainly M4s here, but now the new patches are decreasing the M4 spawn ratios. You can now find berets. You can find large backpacks and all the works. Do make sure that you leave the front door or the second floor door and walk around, because that is where most of the good loot I found has been. Don't just stay, you know, right in that second floor and don't check everything else. I've also found stuff on the top floor. I believe there's a scope up here when we check. Yep, there it is. It's going to be to the left. I think I zoom into it. No, maybe not. It's up to the left. It's, you know, just laying on the ground, of course. And, yeah, that's the air control tower. Alright, so this building here is a hangar. Hangars spawn, the hangars have about 4 loot areas as far as I know. Maybe a little bit more. You may as well check the front 2 corners. This little spot right here and the back 2 corners. There's probably about 5 or 6, now that I think about it, loot spawns. Not very many. It's not really hard to check them. Just look, you know, peek your head in, look at the left and right, front corners, and then just zoom in and check the back corners and, you know, of course, the ground. Not very hard thing to do. So yeah, that's a hangar. Alright, so this building here, a lot of people consider it the prison building, the bunks. I just like to think of it as the bunks. You know, it's not, you know, officer bunks maybe. You want to check below that, those stairs. You want to check by this desk here. Obviously, I find a tin of 7.62s, you know, by that desk. Usually a lot of M4s spawn in here. Just basically, you know, your standard military gear. Bunk houses or, you know, whatever, what have you call it. Spawn a lot of good shit. Now, where I'm standing right now is actually where a lot of like the civilian, more civilian stuff will spawn, and they'll spawn in piles. That actually wasn't just a person dropping a whole bunch of shit there. I always find that kind of stuff there. And now I am surprised that there's a lot of loot in here, but you can actually see the loot tables. It'll be under, or not the tables, but you can see where the stuff spawns. It'll be under the beds, it'll be on the beds, it'll be on the top bunks. You have a chance of it spawning on top of those lockers over there. It's just a huge variety of spawn locations in here, and it does help to, check every spot. I obviously didn't need that Pepsi or Pipsy for this, but hey, who can't use a good Pipsy? And there we go, take it. So yeah, that's gonna be the bunkhouse. Alright, so this is gonna be a barracks. I don't know what anyone else calls it, but I call it the barracks. This is a little shower room. Sometimes it's got a little bit of loot. Honestly, the best loot will not be found in there. The best loot will be found on the first bunk or at the bottom. I don't know why the top bunk never spawns anything but backpacks for me. You may have a different situation, but barracks are amazing for loot. Now, if the doors are all open, it's been looted, so I wouldn't try and loot it unless you're in a later build of the game and loot now respawns. But in the current build of the game, loot does not respawn. And like I said, backpacks are on the top. No idea why. Or anyways, guys, that's the barracks. So now we come to the military tents. These are the long tents. These are where you're going to find stuff. These are amazing for attachments. So if you're looking for a nice weapon attachment, come to the long tents. I call these sniper nests. Not exactly sure what anyone else calls them, but that's what I call them. They're amazing for magazines. Not so much ammo, but I find so many magazines here. I believe later a standing mag spawns below me, and there's a coupled standing mag there. You just find them laying on top of these little sandbag type things. And then you go up to the top and you just check on top of these sandbags, and usually you'll find at least one standing mag. It doesn't really take a lot of luck to get. Now, I know I left a lot of military buildings off. This building over here, and then the first aid building back there. All these other buildings I did not mention that are military style currently have no loot in them. So I stray away from them. If in a later build they have loot in them, go ahead and put it in the comments section below. It'll really help some new players out that don't actually understand the loot. But anyways, guys, that's been Loot in DayZ. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was informational, and I hope you take this information with you in-game, and now you fully understand what DayZ is. Thank you, and stay tuned for the next guide.